What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Six Gaming Podcast. This is episode 127. We've done so many of these; it's like mind-boggling. That's
a lot.
A lot. Like
Lots and lot. We're gonna be coming up on 3 years worth soon.
We're going to be coming up on 2 to the 7th next week.
Yes.
Power of 2.
Power
you're an engineer.
of love.
Yes. But anyway, filling in for your host as always, it's Ron Klee. Showsun's off killing some turkeys this week.
Pew pew.
Yeah. And of course, we have a non-litany of awesome and illustrious co-hosts, so Dan gets to be both awesome and illustrious once again this week.
Awesome and illustrious.
Combined into one. May his superpowers combine into... And the very end.
10th man.
The 10th man. Thanks for joining us, guys. And we got a lot of stuff to cover. So we're going to get started right away with Showsun's favorite part of the show.
First half.
It's the first half of the show. And I tell you what, I'm pretty excited for this half. And shows, he's beating himself up over missing this. But this is news! And we got lots of news. And we're going to start with Blizzard news because we have Overwatch to talk about. Not only are they running their summer games right now with that ranked Lucio ball, which I've heard people are very salty about.
I played a little bit. It was all right. Like, it's basically Rocket League in Overwatch.
You didn't play summer games last year, right?
Nope.
So you didn't experience the booping of players out of the goal and the ultimate that sucked the ball towards your location?
No, I did not.
Which was absolutely amazing. It almost seems like they've deflated the magic out of that mode.
They definitely changed things.
Yes. So, but they're going to be adding something else, something that they said that they were very much against to begin with. They're putting in deathmatch.
Right. And so the thing with deathmatch is that they didn't want to add it because they said, we want everyone to be working as a team, but they have 1v1, they have 3v3, which is kind of as a team, but because they added the arcade, they're basically like, well, the arcade can be anything, right? It's not it's not only regular quick play or competitive. So now you can have deathmatch, which is kind of weird though. Like a tank, I guess, it has more health, but the health is lower versus it's just there's gonna be a lot of uneven matching.
Yeah,
I'm curious how that's going to work.
Yeah, I imagine that there's going to be some players like I doubt you'll actually see a successful Mei in any of these, for instance. The tanks, it's questionable what the tanks will do. I mean, it obviously depends on your skill level of the character, but I mean, like snipers, I imagine will be brutal on this map, on this game mode, stuff like that. So it'll be pretty interesting. I believe they're playing in a Kings Row-ish map. Not exactly sure. It's not the same thing, but it's. I didn't read into exactly what they did with it, but it's the same map but different. Kind of like the way the most recent bots, the invasion one was. So
sorry. I was posting the Twitch stream. I was telling people to come watch us. Come watch us.
Yeah, because it's interesting, exciting. Always. Never is boring.
Always.
Oh, as always.
So they'll figure something out and it'll be fun and we'll play it because we're suckers like that.
Absolutely. And then Heroes of the Storm, they're having this Heroes of the Storm clash over on Twitter. And apparently they're doing this thing where they're using the Twitch bits, and if everyone donates a certain amount of bits, there's going to be mounts for everyone who donated.
Yep, and you can get badges for yourself. There's all kinds of stuff you can get. But I recommend if you donate at least 100 bits, then if the community as a whole ends up getting the mounts, then you get the mounts. But if you don't donate anything, then you don't get anything. And just like every once in a while, go watch a couple ads. You get 5 to 10 bits, and by the end of the class,
sometimes 75.
Ooh, I have never gotten 75.
You usually have to do a survey to get more than that. Sometimes you get surveys instead of ads. They're rare though. I haven't gotten one in quite some time.
Well, I suggest you get, if you want heroes mounts, you get the mounts. So
Yep. So yeah, it's pretty nice little interactive feature for Heroes of the Storm. And then I'm going to interject one here. Another live event that's been going on, the international for Dota 2.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that OpenAI put out a bot to play one of the pros?
I did not. How did that go?
The pro got wrecked. He gave up in the middle of the second game. It was supposed to be best of 5, and he just forfeited in the middle of the second game because he couldn't do anything against it.
That's like if Gary Kasparov were just like, screw it, Deep Blue wins.
Yep, pretty much. It's pretty amazing. So OpenAI is they're doing a lot of different things. I believe they're the group that announced that they were going to do something with StarCraft 2 as well. Mm-hmm. So they're all over gaming right now. So it's pretty cool. There was a video out there on it on YouTube. It's definitely worth checking out, and how frustrated he gets and how quickly he gets frustrated. So it's pretty funny. Definitely worth checking out. So there's that. And then No Man's Sky finally put out a new story. And
only a year later.
Yeah, I know. It's like, to be fair, I mean, they got rushed by the whole PS4 thing, but at the same time, they hyped it up to be more than it was.
Yep.
But this one adds 30 hours of story. They have Stargates that allow you to go between planets. Stuff. But
they look like, I mean, if you ever watched the show or saw the movie Stargate,
mm-hmm.
they're circles that are like buried most of the way, or buried part of the way.
Yep.
And they have symbols around them, and there's a little device so you can press the symbol. Like, it looks just like a Stargate from SG-1. I don't know if they own that design or if they're like, well, it's a little bit different, so it doesn't count. Like, I feel like there's some design stealing going on.
Yeah, maybe. Also, I read that they have some kind of co-op now.
Yeah, there's some kind of multiplayer going on. I don't have it, so I can't try it. But
yeah, I'm kind of half interested to try it and half not, because I mean, it's No Man's Sky. It's usually disappointing when you play it. So, but I might go in and just check on my. I don't even know if I have a save file anymore. I'll have to double check. But yeah, very interesting how No Man's Sky is evolving. They're still putting stuff out. Well, yesterday it was 60% off. I don't know if that's still the deal, but still 60% off is
it was
a bit more than your average indie game.
It was quite discounted. Let me see. Right now, it is 60% off at $23.
Man, yeah,
and it actually it knocked PlayerUnknown out of the top sellers.
Probably for about probably for the day. I can't imagine. Every time they put out an update, it seems like within a day or two they're back in the basement again. I mean, I've seen chess have more viewers on Twitch than No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it's actually I don't see PlayerUnknown at all right now, but I just bought it today, so it may not be showing up because of that.
Yeah. True. How is that, by the way?
I'm enjoying it. It's definitely one of those games that's like, oh, I lost. One more. I'll try one more time. I'm gonna do one more time.
Pretty.
And yep.
We'll get to that in the next section. And then
I was playing earlier, but I'll get to it in next.
And then in the final bit of news that I had this week, or you had rather, I had the Dota thing this week. There's a good chance that we're going to see not one, but two more Dragon Age games.
Yeah, they haven't said exactly what they're going to be, or if they're going to be what, like sequels to each other or what. But supposedly there's 2 games that are being worked on, possibly in parallel.
Yep, and Dragon Age is a series that's got a pretty good fan base to it as well. So I would imagine that when these things come out, they'll be like instant top sellers.
Yep, so, they will. Of course, they'll be on Origin, but whatever.
Yeah, Origin, so much fun. But yeah, and that's all I had for news here. I don't have anything else. I am, and I've talked about this before. How I've added kind of like a video game section to my Google News, and it's like the last couple of weeks have just been so depressing. Reading that section,
yeah,
it's just like these journalists, social justice guys trying to put out, "Hey, video games is bad for your brain," or "Video games make you want to work less," or stupid shit like that, and it's just like. That's not what I subscribe to the section for.
Yeah, it's just clickbait. There's a lot of clickbait, and there's people who even like maybe they're not into like the social justice, whatever, but they write the article because they know it'll get clicks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what
I think you should just play the games you like, and that's it.
Fair enough. Speaking of games that we play, I think it's time. I think it's time to move on to the second half of the show.
Second half of the show?
Yes.
I'm in. Let's do it.
You're in. So this is crap. What do we call this?
I think we should rename it again.
Yeah, I think it's almost tradition to rename this like every 25
almost time
episodes or so.
to renew it. I think we gotta refresh things.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas?
No. I've renamed it a lot of times.
This is why we keep renaming it, because we come up with these ideas and they're all bad.
I still think the Wrecking Crew was pretty good.
I think Wrecking Crew is all right, but I don't think anyone else really got behind it.
Let's just call it Show's favorite part of the podcast.
Show's favorite part of the podcast, where we tell you what we've been playing and how we've enjoyed it. Dan, what have you been up to?
I booted up Hearthstone for the first time in quite a while. They released the Ice Crown expansion, and you can get, if you play the prologue, you get a Death Knight and 3 free packs. I don't know. I don't play enough for it to really matter, but it was free shit, so I loaded it up and played for a little bit. It's fun. I don't play enough to care. Played some Heroes. I've been playing Heroes every couple of days. I don't let my daily list fill up. I play a couple, get the dailies, get the gold. Trying to buy the Heroes. I enjoy it. I don't usually play like competitively. I don't play hard matches, but every once in a while I team up with like I don't know who the people in Sys Gaming that play. Mr. Fu maybe, and there's a few people who play. Anyway, I jump in with them and play some AI games or a couple of quick play games. Some Overwatch, a little bit of competitive. My ranking has gone down. I was so close to 1700, but now I'm almost going to dip below 1600 because I just keep ending up on teams with stupid people. It's like people who just don't know how to play. And you're like, hey, idiots, stop trickling in. And they're like, no, fuck you. So I really should just find a team and play with that team, but whatever. Dragon Age Inquisition, played some of that. Playing the not Trespasser, Jaws of Hakkon expansion, the DLC. Getting some better weapons and armor, and heading my way toward the main game finale. A little bit of Ori and the Blind Forest. Very little, just fiddle around with it. And today I bought PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds because friggin' everyone owns it, and it's one of those games where it's like I put off playing Overwatch, and everyone in Sys Gaming was playing Overwatch for a while, and now no one plays Overwatch. So I figured I'd pick it up while my friends were playing it and get some games in. I played earlier with I think Astalon, the Just over here in chat. I think that's who that is. And it's fun. Playing in the squad is fun. We got ourselves. I think we were like 36th or something, maybe less. Got ourselves killed coming over to a ridge, but it's fun. It's I mean, obviously it's basically like Hunger Games. You parachute out of a plane and you pick up weapons and armor and shit, and then you the play area shrinks, right? So everyone has to come to a certain area, and you just kill people when you see them. But it's stealth and looting and rummaging, and it's pretty fun.
Pretty good. What's the best you've done so far?
Solo, I got to like 30 something, and for group, I don't know what we ranked when I quit the game earlier.
And this is out of how many people?
It's 100 people.
Yeah, so
or
that's pretty
20,
good.
25 teams. So
Top half's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting. So pretty cool. Anything else?
Yep. Nope, that's it.
Nope, I've been playing a bunch of stuff. One of the games that I really had trouble playing because I couldn't get the game to work the way I wanted it to was really Big Sky. And Dan, I know you like this game. It's a
Yeah, it was free when I picked it up.
It's basically a space shooter with some interesting things. But the problem I found with it is you can't really make it 1080p without having this ugly, annoying window border happening, and it's really dumb. But I found this program called WinSize 2, which is a freeware program. It's an open source program on SourceForge. So I downloaded it, installed it, and it allows you to move windows such as that window. Like you move the top left corner of it off screen enough so that the whole 1080p fills your entire screen, and it was beautiful. I loved it.
Gotcha.
So I played like
That's
a few hours of that. I lost my save file, so I'm unlocking everything again. But I mean, it was pretty fun. I had a pretty deep run. I had like 600,000 or something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, working on that. Wednesday was kind of stupid because my fucking wheel, man. For the third time now, it's given me Amnesia. I thought Amnesia Dark Descent, I thought it had no achievements, and they added achievements.
Uh-oh.
So it's on my wheel now, and it's like, all right. But I did manage. I am proud of this. I got an achievement in Amnesia.
Nice.
The achievement is called Nope.
Nope.
And that achievement is you watch the intro, and as soon as the intro is done, you quit to the main menu.
Nice.
That's how I feel about this game.
Did you? So how far have you gotten?
I don't know. I had to start over because of the achievements. Because I know some of the achievements I know I've done.
Gotcha.
So and it's still terrifying. Even
I got to the water level
third time through. Show played the water level on stream.
That's awesome.
And that thing that's invisible in the water. Oh my god, he freaked the fuck out. It was great.
I hope that's safe somewhere. I wish I could watch it.
I don't think it is, but this was before the time of clips. Let me tell you, I would have been clipping the hell out of that stream. Also played a bit of Obelisk on Wednesday. I'm way worse at that game than I was. Invisible Ink, kind of an interesting strategy game. I'm not very good at it, but the one that I did do really well at is a game called Out There Somewhere.
I think I own that.
And
is it the Freedom Bundle?
I don't think it was because I didn't. It never came up on my Humble Freedom Bundle wheel. But I do have it, and it's pretty neat. The concept is it starts out, it looks like it's a space shooter, but then you get into an impossible scenario and your spaceship crashes. And when it crashes, it turns into a platformer. And the deal with your platformer is that you have it's not really a portal gun, but it's a gun and it shoots this bullet. When it hits a wall, you teleport to that location.
The teleporter gun.
Yeah. So, and there's various mechanics having to do with that. And the idea is you have to find upgrades for your ship, and then you find the guy that shot you out of the sky. You beat him, and then he goes back to his ship. Well, your ship is fixed. You go fight him again and beat him up and win the game. I beat the game in literally an hour, but there's so many other things to do. There's 36 achievements in this game. You have to find like all the secrets and stuff.
Cool.
And for someone who is self-proclaimed horrible at platformers, I really enjoyed this one. So definitely worth it. Another one that's been worth it for me is Spelunky.
I tried playing a little bit of that. I'm just really bad at it.
I am really bad at it too, but after 29 hours in the game, I finally got the Made It achievement to complete the game. I opened up all the tunnels as well, and that's how I did it. I started in Zone 4.
Nice.
Killed Anubis, or as my buddy Squega calls him, Douche Nubis. Because he has these, like, you can have 50 health, and one of these Douche Nubis purple orbs hit you, and you're dead. It's instant death. So what I did is I killed this guy, and he drops a weapon that does the same thing. And I'm like, oh, this weapon's awesome. I'm playing around with it. I killed the guy, walked past the guy, shot it again, and the orb that I shot out came back to hit the dead guy behind me. Of course, it hits me, and I die. So learning to use this weapon was like part of a challenge. So I used the weapon, and on 4-2, I killed a shopkeeper. with it, picked up his gun, and finished the game with the gun.
Nice.
Got a bunch of bombs. It's kind of weird because the last fight Olmec reminds me of one of the, I think it's Super Mario 3, the Bowser fight, where he jumps up and then smashes the ground, and the object is to have him smash through.
Oh yeah, smashes through the bottom.
That's exactly what Olmec is. There's obviously some differences, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Inspired by.
Very much. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. So yeah, Spelunky, fun game. I'm going to be trying to get a full clear from Zone 1 to Zone 4 and start working on some more achievements for that. And then Crypta the Necrodancer. Condor 6 is underway. I'm 3-3.
Nice.
Yes. And I'm 3-3 against opponents whose last season I was 0-5 against.
That's a good place to be.
Yep. And my Elo still dropped 100 points.
Yeah.
It's awful. So I'm like in a lower tier than I intended to be. But I'll work my way out of that. I'm playing some weaker opponents this week. So I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to get back up there. He's even lower than me. Squega's even lower than me, though. Squega was one of the guys I raced, and I 2-1'd him. I actually beat him. And the first time I've beaten him in 3 tries. And he had a 1-5 week, and he dropped hard.
Yikes.
Like 400 points he dropped. So he's got an easy schedule this week too. Easier schedule this week. I wouldn't say it's easy. He's got a couple. His opponents are fairly good, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out. It's going to be pretty neat. CondorLeague.tv is the website if you want to check that out. And that's about it. That's all I've been doing. So I guess that means we move on. Oh wait, I just figured out a problem with naming the second half of the show is Shosan's favorite half of the show.
Is this next part of the show since his favorite half?
Yes, this next part of the show is Shosan's favorite half of the show. I don't know what to do here. I feel like we've come to an impasse in terms of naming these sections.
Probably call it Shosan, one of Shosan's favorite parts of the show.
Maybe if we just call all the parts of the show Shosan's favorite half of the show, we'll be fine.
I feel like we've said this before. We should just call all of them. This is one of Shosan's favorite part of the show.
Yes. And this is the 6 Gaming Roundtable, where we ask everyone a question that's pretty interesting, hopefully. And if you don't mind, I'm going to pick one of the two here, because the other one I think we should do when we have a larger group. Even though I think we've talked about it before, but we'll do it with a larger group. So Dan, of course, you're playing PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and you're liking it so far.
Yep.
So why don't you introduce your question?
So one of the things I kind of wanted to just touch on, because I was playing it this week, was early access games, and kind of what differentiates one from another. So I don't know, maybe a year ago, but it was I guess it was around a year ago. Show sent me a message like, "Hey, you want to review a game for me?" I was like, all right, whatever. What are you talking about? He's like, I'll buy you a game on Steam if you want to talk about it with me on the podcast. And he picked up We Happy Few.
Okay.
And it's a game where it's like it's procedurally generated, and it's like a survivor FPS in a weird like Britain where everyone is taking these happy pills so that they don't see how horrible everything is. And they've had a few updates, but it never gained a whole lot of traction. It looks like a fun game. I played some. They're adding a little bit of story, but it's not wildly popular. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds has been the top seller on Steam for weeks, months maybe. The guy's making $1 zillion.
Largely because PlayerUnknown is a pretty prolific mod maker for other games.
Right. Granted, I mean, he's got some notoriety, but like, if the game wasn't good, it wouldn't be selling. And other games have done something like this before, but never quite like this. I get that this is kind of a different. It's basic. I mean, honestly, it's a Hunger Games game without the title Hunger Games, right? It's kind of Hunger Games. And or Battle Royale is really the more appropriate title. So, hey, you have a hairline.
Don't bother.
Oh no, are you sure that it's not Shosan?
Yeah, just continue.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, I like it, and I just want to kind of talk about like what makes one early access game kind of like worthy where other ones are not, and in your opinion, or in the opinion of the general public, like because some take out like Minecraft launched at alpha, and people bought a zillion copies of that, and it's awesome. So, what do you think?
Well, I mean, there's various ways to go about it. There's some people that have used early access for some really good stuff, and there's some that are really struggling with it. And a lot of the developers of these games, they come in and think that early access is the way to go because they're going to get all this great feedback, and then they put out a game that's like half baked.
Yep.
Whereas PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, they're doing it right. They're doing what they should be doing. They put together a game that's playable, that's enjoyable, but they still want feedback on it because they're not done with all the features and stuff like that.
Right.
They're doing it in a different way that makes it makes early access useful, stuff like that.
Yep.
There's 2 early access games in the 6 Degree of Freedom area where that my specialty. There's Overload, which they're doing it right. They don't have a fully featured game out there, but they have it polished enough that it's enjoyable playing it. Whereas Descent Underground is like, you jump in for 1 or 2 games, you realize that okay, this game's got this problem, that problem. This isn't a very polished game,
too buggy,
and people jump out of it.
Yep.
And no one plays it. So I imagine it's got to be frustrating for those developers because they come from a rather successful early access game, Star Citizen, and they're not getting the same results here because Star Citizen's pretty half baked too, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But they're not getting the same results because they have experience with something bigger, but they tried the same formula and it didn't work because they don't have anywhere near the hype behind them, stuff like that. So interesting. There's different ways to do it. Like Crypt of the Necrodancer was early access. I was not around for its early access, but I was for the DLC, and there were a lot of things that were added over time, stuff like that, and it was pretty cool.
Yep. I mean, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is good. I hope that they add more stuff. He did supposedly like break the promise. I mean, I wasn't playing it or involved enough to care, but like you can buy a key to unlock a chest and get other cosmetic stuff, but it's all cosmetics as far as I can tell. So
right.
I don't really care much about that. I don't know. I like the game. I hope that he adds at least a few more maps, and some more stuff. But the base gameplay is fun. I mean, I probably, I guess it's worth the cost. I think that if he never adds anything else, $20 would be more appropriate for it, but you're kind of buying in assuming that you're going to get more content.
How much is it right now?
It's 30, and I don't think it's ever going to go on sale, which I mean 30 is like not bad. I mean, think about most console games are 60, right? But for an early access game, and considering the fact that most games I buy on Steam are less than $10 because I wait for like the discounted Game of the Year edition, it was a little pricey, but I figured I'd pick it up while other people were playing it. And it's fun.
Yeah, kind of cool. There's certainly some games that have not done so well with that. I played one for a while called Grav. That was part of the Humble Freedom bundle, and it was interesting. It was it was an open world survival game, but after a while, there was just not enough content for it to be really enjoyable. What they try to do is make you visit other planets, but the other planets are basically copies of the same thing, just procedurally generated differently. And there wasn't enough variation in that procedural generation. I mean, there's only like maybe less than a dozen different types of enemies in the entire game. And it's just like, I like more than just that in my game, because it started off out pretty interesting. You get to build base, stuff like that. But it's like, after that, what do you do? There's no, the only thing to do is to level up, and that just wasn't interesting enough. So obviously they have some good tech to start with, but again, you're putting out something that's half good. Where Overload is interesting. I'm revisiting this again because I want to point out they're focusing on building a single player campaign for the game.
Right.
But in the meantime, they have these challenge modes that are like super replayable, that you just go into these maps over and over again and try to beat your score from last time.
Yeah.
And people love that. They're really getting into that because it's random enough that it replays differently every time. You can't just go in and do the same thing that you did the previous game. And people are really enjoying how that game's progressing. And it's going to be interesting to see how people respond to the first single player campaign when it comes out. So I'm really interested to see how that
There's
works.
something to be said for games that are always the same, and there's something to be said for games that are always different.
Yes, there is.
Yep.
So, yeah, very cool. I don't know if anyone else had any opinions to give that mattered. So, yeah, I think we might have to wrap it up early here, unless you had something else you wanted to add.
I got nothing.
Nothing. So we're going to wrap this up. Thanks, you guys, for joining us.
This was filled with gin about an hour ago. So
we didn't even talk about League.
I know. That's why I wasn't drinking scotch.
Oh, well, we might have to soon, because the playoffs will be coming up.
Okay.
So make sure you have scotch.
I'll have to buy a new bottle.
Yes.
Next week, by the way, I'm playing. We'll get a recap, but I'm playing a game of D&D this week.
Oh wow!
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's a continuation of a game that we started about 3 years ago.
Oh geez.
And we usually play we have a guys' night once a month, and we usually play Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy's like, "Hey, let's play that D&D game we played last time." And I sent an email recap of like what happened and what their characters were and what everyone was carrying, because nobody remembered. And I think it's gonna be good. We're playing Lost Mine of Phandelver.
Okay.
And hitting up section 2. So we'll see what happens.
Very nice. I'm gonna be keeping doing Condor this week. So it's gonna be fun. I've already cast like 7 races.
Nice.
No, 8 races. It's been 8. So there's so many going on because there's so many people in this thing. It's great. So anyway, yeah, the LOL playoffs are next week. So we'll definitely be talking a little more, and you'll be drinking a little more scotch.
I'll be drinking lots.
Yes. So that's gonna do it this week. Hopefully we'll have Shosan back next week, but you never know, because he's
he will not be back next week.
Why not?
Because I think he said he's out 2 weeks.
Oh no, yeah, no. The next time he's out's the 26th.
Oh, okay.
Which sucks, because I don't know if I'm going to get home in time on the 26th. The 26th is the Portland Ingress Anomaly.
Nice.
And I'm going to be doing a local recharge room, which should be interesting. We're having like a potluck and everything, and I've met like most of the people that are going already, and it's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, that's going to be the 26th. It supposedly ends at 4:00, with the show starting at like 8. So hopefully I get back in time, but if something happens afterwards, I'm probably going to do it. So we'll see.
Don't care, you goddamn frog.
Damn it, Smurf. You're a fucking Smurf, aren't you?
I am.
I hate Smurfs.
Because I like humanity.
You like humanity. Yeah, man, you have to open your mind, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway. Nice cliff happening. Do you know what half of those mean, by the way?
No, I just know I know some of the patterns. I haven't played in a while.
I have to tell you this. Learning even like a quarter of the glyphs makes it so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get patterns that come up over, like Shaper Portal comes up all the time.
Yep.
And once you learn some of the patterns, then you're like, okay, Shaper Portal. Well, what was the one before it? Oh, that's what that is. That makes sense. And then you learn that one, and your vocabulary just keeps growing until you know a whole bunch. So that's probably going to be one of my first Onyx badges is the glyph hacking.
Nice.
But yeah, I need one more gold to get 11, level 11. So I've been really tearing away at it. It's been a lot of fun. So, all right. So that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. We'll be back here next week at 10 o'clock p.m. Central. I think it's still daylight, right?
I don't know.
Daylight for a while.
It's 10:44 right now, whatever the hell that is.
It's Central Daylight. There you go.
Sure.
So be sure to check us out. And you can also go to the website six.gg, 6.gg, and you can find everything to do with us, including our Discord server. You can find our all of our crazy friends that are over in that server. It's pretty cool. So that's going to do it. Dan, any last words?
Come to our Discord because we have crazy friends in our server.
That makes sense. And I'm going to conclude this episode by talking about Brock's People.
I like Brock's People.
A lot of people like Brock's People, and there's
vote for Brock's People.
Vote for. Is it Brock's People or Cthulhu? Who's he usually vote for? I don't know.
No, you should vote for Brock's People as president of the universe.
As president of the universe. Well, yeah. I wanted to give a shout out for him because he's having a party today, and that's why Veg isn't here. Veg is at that party, and he posted something to Facebook recently that is extremely amusing. And it says, quote, "Rule number 1 of letting me handle the music playlist for a social gathering: don't let me handle the playlist for a social gathering." And he puts out these he puts out this playlist. This playlist is so good that I absolutely have to share this playlist. And Dan, I think you made an excellent comment to this. You said, "I'd totally go to that party."
Yeah. Well, I don't see a problem.
Here it is. Here it is. So yeah, look at that. I mean, starting with the first one, Green Jelly, 3 Little Pigs.
What's up?
Four Non-Blondes.
Four Non-Blondes.
Crash Test Dummies. Come on, that's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a couple in here I actually probably would only know by listening to it. Tia Carrere, Ballroom Blitz. Oh my god.
Too Legit to Quit.
Too Legit to Quit from MC Hammer. Oh geez. I mean, Chariots of fucking Fire.
God bless the USA, which you know is a classic to sing along. And
Lady Gaga, Telephone.
And then, of course, Defying Gravity from the Wicked soundtrack.
And I mean, it does get better too. He posted a follow up to this. He's apparently taking suggestions from other people. And here's the update. CNC Music Factory.
It's basically every song that people like to sing along with, but that they refuse to acknowledge that they like to sing along with it.
Yeah, some Queen in there. I can get behind Queen.
Yeah.
But then Richard Cheese. My God. If you don't know Richard Cheese, look him up. You might become a fan. And he's even got fucking League of Legends music on here. He's got Pentakill.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, yeah, shout outs to Brox for having an amazing music soundtrack at his I think it's his birthday party or something.
I don't know. But yeah. Brox, whatever is going on, enjoy it.
Yes. And that's gonna do it.
Oh, Veg is there eating all the food.
There eating all the food.
All the foods.
All the food. No one there is getting food except him. It's pretty sad. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this week. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch you guys next week. Until then, Dan.
See you. Bye.